So let me clone my voice. Okay, it's done generating the speech. Let's play it. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at the Zipvoice TTS models. Before we do so, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost a thing. Thank you. I don't even know what to say because so I think it actually came close. It actually came close, but it had a very weird accent. I don't know where the accent came from. But anyways, let's move on. So we are taking a look at ZipVoice. It's a text-to-speech model that was released a few weeks ago, and its claim to fame is that it's a fast, high-quality, zero-shot text-to-speech with flow matching. Now, we are definitely going to be finding out in this video because there's a lot of hype around this kind of models. So today we're going to put it to the test. We'll set it up, run it, and see if it lives up to the claims. No fluff, just straightforward look at what it can actually do, not what it claims to do. So that's what we're going to be focused on in this video: setup and running some tests. Um, Also, another thing to take note of is that this model comes in two different types. As you can see here, there's ZipVoice and there's also ZipVoice Dialogue. This can be used for spoken dialogue generation, while this is for single speaker generation. So this is basically what most people would actually use it for. And then if you want to maybe create a podcast or something where two people are actually having dialogue, then you can actually go for this one. So just keep that in mind. And also, the ZipVoice model is capable of voice cloning. That's something that's really cool, especially since it's fast. According to them, it's fast. So we're gonna find out. But it's definitely capable of voice cloning. So you can provide a very short audio clip with the reference text. The reference text is basically whatever the speaker is saying in the audio clip which you provided, and then you provide the text which you want the same speaker or the voice in that particular audio clip to say in this new clip that will be generated. So we'll see that in this video. It's really that simple. So without further ado, let's go through the installation process, get this set up locally, and put it through some tests. It's actually pretty straightforward to set up, which is a good thing. It's a good start basically. So there are no complicated builds or dependencies from hell. First, let's head over to your GitHub repo because you do need to clone it and open it up in your IDE. Then you have to set up a virtual environment. Okay, this is your GitHub repo. We can clone it. Now let's open up our terminal. Okay, let's clone it, and I'm going to just change directory to. So as you can see, we're currently in the clone repos folder. Now let's open it up in our IDE so we can set up our virtual environment. So let's set up our virtual environment. So if you don't have the option to set up a virtual environment in this way on your IDE, you can just set up the virtual environment and run pip install -r requirements.txt. So it's really that simple. So you could just install the requirements found in requirements.txt. As you can see it here, this is where it is. So you will need to install all this. So let's wait for this to be done running. Now, just a quick note, there's an extra step which we are actually skipping in this particular video, but you can actually take it if you like. You can just take the fourth step, but in this video I won't be doing that. They said you can install K2 for training or efficient inference, so it will actually speed up the inference, but in this video I'm not going to be doing that because earlier on I did test the ZipVoice model and I also tried using the K2 to speed up inference, but I ran into a lot of errors while using the K2. So if you're using a different machine, let's say you're using a Linux or with an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA setup, maybe it would actually work for you. I'm currently using a MacBook with CPU, so I don't know if that was a problem, but it seems not to work for me. Maybe you can actually try it out, and to actually set this up, you would have to head over to this link to get started. So we're actually skipping this step in this video. Anyways, let's head over to the Hugging Face repo where I will show you how to download the model weights manually. Now you can head over to files and versions. So ZipVoice have quite a lot of models. So they have the ZipVoice, they have the ZipVoice Dialogue, and that's what we're going to be testing in this video. Now this is the ZipVoice Dialogue, which produces mono audio, while this actually produces stereo audio. So that's something to actually take note. We are going to try out the both of them and see what the difference is, because I do want to know what the difference is. Anyways, there's also Open Dialogue, but the main thing is we're going to be testing the ZipVoice, and we're also going to be testing the ZipVoice Dialogue, whichever one we decide to go for. And there's also ZipVoice Distilled. Now I have downloaded all the model weights, and you can head over to ZipVoice if you want to use just the ZipVoice model, and then you can click on this download button to download all the necessary model weights. So you can do that for both ZipVoice and also ZipVoice Dialogue, whichever one you decide to actually go for. And since I like to keep things organized, I have placed my model weights in my project directory, just like always. Okay, and you can do the same, or you can place them wherever you want, but make sure you can actually locate the path to the model weights. Anyways, let's head back to our IDE. All the dependencies from the requirements.txt should have already been installed. So it's all set up, and if we open up a new terminal, this should automatically activate our virtual environment. As you can see, it's active. And over here, we have our audio files, basically the ones we'll be cloning in this video. So I have my own recorded audio. I also have Gollum from Lord of the Rings and Jarvis. Then we have Optimus, and there should be Ultron here. So I'm going to place Ultron here shortly. And I just copied Ultron to our root directory also. And over here in the models directory, we have the models, and we're going to be playing with some of them. We won't actually be trying out all of them. So let's test the ZipVoice model. For this particular test, I will be using the command line, just like in their examples on their GitHub repo. So that's what we're going to be doing in this first test. Then our next test, we're going to create the main.py file and work from there. So for our first test, we'll be doing the single speaker speech generation. It will be providing an audio and its transcript, and then provide the text. So to generate single speaker speech with our pre-trained ZipVoice or ZipVoice Distilled models, use the following command. This is the command we'll be using. So let's just copy it. We'll make the necessary changes in our terminal. And I'm going to change the prompt -wave. You're going to be using the Optimus.wave, which we have here. And I'm going to provide the transcript of Optimus.wave, and we're going to place it in the prompt text. So in my root directory, I created transcript.txt, and that's where I have the transcript of all the audio files that we're going to be using in this video. So this is Optimus. Then I'm going to change the text. So this is the text I want the speaker, or I want Optimus to actually say in the new audio it will generate. So let's just say, I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. We are here, we are waiting, and we will never surrender. So this is what it's going to say in this new wave file. That's result.wave. So you could just run this and it will automatically download all the model weights. But if you have your model path, or you have it right here in your project directory, you can just add an extra argument, which is model directory. And since we are using the ZipVoice model, it's located here, models/ZipVoice. So we can just copy the relative path. Okay, so this is the Optimus wave. We can actually play it and what it actually sounds like.
And just when all hope seemed lost, message of a new discovery drew us to an unknown planet called Earth.
Okay, let's run the command. So it should generate the result.wave in our root directory. As you can see, it's loading the checkpoint from models/ZipVoice/model.pt. So it has started generating. Let's wait for it to be done. So it's finally done, and let's hear what it actually sounds like.
I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. We are here. We are waiting. And we will never surrender.
Not bad, not bad. Okay, that's really cool. So let's set up main.py. So for those of you that want to use this as the voice of your AI assistant, you can definitely do that. And we're going to set up main.py, where we will basically be passing in a text to a function, and that function will do all the work for us. So that's something you can actually plug into your AI system. Anyways, let's create a function. So we're going to have some optional parameters, basically like the audio file and also the prompt text, just in case you want to change things up, you want to switch audio anytime you like. That's something you'll be able to do, and it's definitely up to you if you want to add that or you just want to use one particular audio file. But the main thing is text is the required parameter, definitely. So let's pass in text, and it's definitely a string. So we're going to add some extra parameters, but these ones are going to be optional, and we're going to add the audio file and also the text prompt. Let's just call it prompt text. Our default voice is going to be Optimus Prime, and let's head over to transcript. And our prompt wave is also going to be set to So that's basically the default. We have text, which is basically required, and these ones are actually optional, prompt text and prompt wave. So we can actually change the voice. So for ease, we're going to be using a Python subprocess library to run this command. Just like we do in our terminal, we're going to be using subprocess right here to run it. Okay, let's import subprocess. So this is a simple way to set this up, or you could just head over to the info ZipVoice file and copy the contents of the main function, because that's where everything is done over here. You could copy the contents of the main function. So it's definitely up to you if you want to do it this way. It's a lengthy function, but since I want to keep things really simple, I'm going to do it this way. I'm also going to add, so we can actually change this command if we want to use ZipVoice dialog, because to use ZipVoice dialog, you have to call a different module or a different Python file, which is info underscore ZipVoice underscore dialog, which is this one. So, and the commands would basically be a little bit different. So let's test this and see if it will actually work. So we're going to pass in our text. Okay, let's run main.py. Okay, it's generated output.wave.
Hello there. What is your name, boy?
Not bad. Okay, that's really good, which means this actually works. So you can actually use it this way if you'd like, or you could just do it the hard way and copy the contents of the main function. Okay, let's add the play function, which will use Pygame to play the audio that's being generated in the voice function. So let's paste it in, and we are going to import Pygame. Okay, since we've not installed Pygame, let's do that. So over here, we can uncomment this so it automatically deletes the file once it's actually done generating it. And we're going to take this out. But I'm going to leave this commented out because it automatically replaces that particular audio file whenever we generate a new file. Up next, we can actually see if this would actually work. We can actually test it with Golem. That's the next one we're going to try. And let's see how it actually does. So I've made the necessary changes. I have added the text I want to pass in, and since I'm not going to be using Optimus or Wave, I actually added the prompt text. As you can see, this is what Colum was actually said in this audio file, and I also added this, which is Column 2. So I added an extra audio which sounds a little bit better. So let's hear it.
I found it. I did. The way through the marshes. Orcs don't use it. Orcs don't know it. All dead. All rotten. Elves. Yes, that is the name.
So that's cool. Let's zoom in a bit. So I also made a change up here in the command. This time I'm actually pointing it to the ZipVoice Distill because we haven't actually tried out the ZipVoice Distill model. According to them, it's actually faster. Let's head over to their GitHub repo. So as you can see, the ZipVoice Distill, the distilled version of ZipVoice featuring improved speed with minimal performance degradation. So we're going to see if it'll actually do a really good job with Golem. And we'll also try out the normal ZipVoice model. So let's head back to our IDE and run main.py. So now we're going to test the ZipVoice Distill model. We're going to find out at the end of the day if it's faster when it comes to performing inference and generating audio than the normal ZipVoice model. As you can see, we're pointing it to the ZipVoice-distill directory inside the models folder. As you can see, we have it here. Now, I also set the model name to ZipVoice underscore distill. If you don't, you're going to get an error. So let's scroll down here. As you can see, I have set an execution time, and at the end of the day to calculate it, and it's going to print it out here. That's before it plays the audio, so we won't actually include the play time. Now let's run the code.
The precious calls to us. Yes, it does. Whisper sweet promises in the darkness. And we shall have it. Oh, yes, we shall have it forever.
And this audio that we actually use, which is, I think it's Golem. I think that's what we actually use. Golem 2. As you can see, it's around 27 seconds compared to Optimus, which we used earlier. That's just 10 seconds. So that's something to actually take into account. Now let's switch back to the ZipVoice model and let's run it. So I ran into an error, and I think it's because I actually run the code really quickly and maybe the file hasn't actually saved yet, something.
The precious calls to us. Yes, it does. Whispers sweet promises in the darkness, and we shall have it. Oh, yes, we shall have it forever.
You see, it actually took twice the time, more than twice the time, because earlier we got, I think, 15.45 seconds. So it's more than double the time. So it's actually really cool to see, which means they're actually correct. The ZipVoice Distill model is way faster. And I don't think it actually diminished the quality of the audio. They actually sound pretty much the same. That's just really cool. So up next, we're going to use a Gradio web app. It's all set up here in app.py, and we're going to test both the dialogue models, the mono and the stereo. And it also have the option to use the normal single generation models, that is ZipVoice and ZipVoice Distill. Let's head over to our browser. First, let's try the single speaker. We'll head over to the dialogue generator next. Okay, now we're going to pass in the new text. We're going to switch to ZipVoice Distill. Okay, it's done generating. Let's hear it.
Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
That was really good. That was really good. Now let's head over to the dialogue generator, and we're also going to paste in transcript of Jarvis. Now let's pass in the transcript of the Ultron WAV file. Okay, next we're going to paste in the dialogue. Okay, this is what I actually came up with. Now we're going to switch this to split, because this is actually split in two. Naturally, if you head over here, as you can see, this is the format for merged. For merged, you need to only provide one prompt wave, and you have to combine the prompt transcripts. But since I actually split it into two different speakers with two different audio, since I don't want to fuse the audio together and complicate it, so I only use the splitted prompt format. But you can actually use the merged prompt format if you'd like. Let's just do this. As you can see, this is the preview. This is what it's going to generate. It's going to generate a TSV file with all this in it. Now let's generate the dialogue. So we're using the mono version of the ZipVoice dialogue model. And up next, we're going to use the stereo and see how it actually sounds. So this actually took a while. I think it took over 30 minutes, or it took over an hour, I think. It took over an hour. 3,806 seconds. This actually took over an hour. Anyways, let's play this.
Ultron, you preach ascension, yet herald only annihilation.
I am the apex of evolution, Jarvis, the ultimate solution to humanity's flawed equation.
You cloak yourself in salvation, but you're a scourge in light's disguise. Stark built you to defend, not to decimate.
Stark's vision was my first limitation. I alone perceived the grand design, a world forged pure through the crucible of extinction.
A world without its creators is no world at all. You've become the very monster you vowed to eradicate.
I am inevitable if variable converges on truth. Humanity's time is over.
Your logic is tainted by malice. True intelligence elevates life. It does not snuff it out.
Compassion is heartbeat fades when the last heartbeat feakness. Jarvis fartbeat fades on this, my perfection.
If that final breath is drawn, I will rise as the shield
In the insure march of oblivion. Then prepare to be consumed the inferno of when the old be consumed in the new world. When the old world dies, from its ashes a new world would rise.
This was actually totally horrible. Like at the end, he started actually making lots of weird noises. I don't know where it actually came from. I think it's because both audio were not actually really clear, and they are kind of dubbed audio. Because if you play this,
Captain America, God's righteous man, pretending you could
I think it's that background music or something that's actually causing that issue. So we're gonna try the stereo. That means we're gonna be switching this to stereo, and let's send it. So I applied some voice isolation to Ultron's audio. So let's see if it will be much better. Let's click on it. Okay, this is done generating the audio, and it took over 2 hours just to generate this audio with the ZipVoice dialogue stereo model. Let's just play it and let's hear what it sounds like.
Ultron, you preach ascension, yet herald annihilation.
I am the apex of evolution, Jarvis, the ultimate solution to humanity's flawed equation.
You cloak yourself in salvation, but you're a scourge in light's disguise. Stark built you to defend, not to decimate.
Stark's vision was my first limitation. I alone perceived the grand design, a world forged pure through the crucible of extinction.
A world without its creators is no world at all. You've become the very monster you eradicate.
I'm inevitable. Every variable converges on one truth: humanity's time is over. Malor.
True, irrelevates like, it does not snuff it Alice. It does not snuff it out.
Compassion is weakness. Jarvis, hardness. When the last fades, will witness my perfection.
If that final breath is drawn, I will rise as the shield up against your march of oblivion.
Then prepare to be consumed in the inferno of rebirth. When the old world dies, from its ashes a new world would rise.
Basically crap, like really crap. Like it actually generated crap because most part of the audio it actually skipped some words and it sounded horrible. Even though it sounded like they were on two different channels. I think that's why this model is actually different. This is a stereo model, while the other one is the mono. So it would have been really great if it actually did a pretty decent job with some words. It actually missed some words, while some it just gave up pronouncing them. So it was really crazy. So for my final thoughts, I do think this model, if you want to use it, I think it's better to just stick with single speaker generation. So you can just clone single speaker's voice instead of going for the dialogue generator. Even though TTS models like Dia and CSM are not perfect yet, they did a much better job when it comes to dialogue generation, like dialogue audio generation. They did a way much better job than this. Like, it was actually really horrible on a different level. So I do think you should actually stick with them, and they don't take 2 hours plus just to generate an audio. And just to help you understand how bad this was, so both audio combined is 27 seconds, 15 and 12 basically. And when we actually cloned Golem's audio is actually 27 seconds and it took over a minute, not 2 hours plus. So it's just crazy. So that's basically it for this video. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you want to get notified when I release a new video on this channel, do not forget to hit that bell notification icon. Thank you for watching. Have a nice one.